Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Thursday's edition of the 13 Days of Mardi Gras. As you can see, we got the graphics Gras going on 2024. We got Dane, Great Dane here. Great, amazing guy. He knows so much. I've got my SG 500 printer here. I've got both the Easy Subly and the UHD inks going up here for you guys all. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the 13 Days of Mardi Gras. As the mayor of Mardi Gras town here at Condi Systems Incorporated, I want to let you guys know that I have given the keys to the city over to the sales reps. Give them a call, 1-800-826-6332. They know all the deals, the steals, the bargains. Go ahead, check out those clearance items in there. They're great items. Great items. We all love deals. Yes, so I hope you guys got a notebook ready for this because Dane has a lot of information. He's a great artist. He knows almost everything. I'm saying that Dane knows everything. I'm looking at him, look at me. He's a classically trained guy. He's classically trained. He knows everything. He's old school, new school, every school you can be. Make sure you got some coffee. You're not going to need it because this is going to be great, but your brain is going to be going on overdrive, okay? You're going to need some coffee, your notebook. I got Photoshop open on my computer right here. Without any further ado, I don't think I can hype this man up anymore, but go ahead, call your rep, check out condi.com for all those steals, and bargains. Dane, how are you doing today? How are you doing?
Doing great, man. I don't know everything. Why are you lying to these people? That's not cool.
Well, you know that you don't know everything.
Trained, though. I do know.
You know that you don't know everything, so that's the most important thing. You know
exactly.
Yeah, I see you got your easel back there.
And all old school.
Stuff, bro.
That's right. Old school.
I mean, you are over in maybe not the birthplace of Mardi Gras, but the place that they do Mardi Gras right.
Oh, come on. I know all my friends over in Mobile think y'all invented Mardi Gras, but I'm in New Orleans and I know from real deal. So, y'all can believe it. It's okay. I won't hurt. I'm not going to hold that against you.
So Dane, I'm going to let it turn over to you. Show us what everything can do. Let's, because graphics are a big part of any digital decorating business, whether you create them, editing them, whatever you're doing.
All right. So let me see if I can share my screen here. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to do, what am I doing? This screen share. Let me know if you guys can see something coming up here. Can you see my screen moving around?
Yeah. No.
All right. So here's the deal. So today, since I want to talk about graphics in general, right? So we're gonna talk about some AI graphics because it's the hottest thing in the world going on right now. We're gonna talk about some Photoshop things because again, Photoshop's one of the standard, the industry standard for all kinds of industries, and it's recently with the generative fill added to it, it has leaped so far ahead of anything else on the market. It's crazy. Now that doesn't mean if you're using something else like Affinity Photo or Corel Photo Paint that you can't get stuff done, because you can. But Photoshop is just going to bring it to the whole nother level. So what I want to do is we're going to talk about some AI things, right? So if you see my screen here, this is called Ideogram. This is one of my favorite apps. There's hundreds of them, by the way. I play with probably 8 or 7 or 8 all the time. This happens to be one of the top ones, and then the next one would be probably my top and my favorite would be Midjourney right here, right through the Discord thing. So we're going to play around with some of those. We're going to bring things into Photoshop. I'm going to kind of show you some of the stuff that you got to think about when you're working with these things, right? So let's go ahead in this Ideogram. One of the reasons I like this particular app here is it does really good job of adding text to things, right? So a lot of times I would just use them as idea generators or starting points and things like that. So you go to ideogram.com, you can get a free version, you can use it, you don't have to pay for it. They do have pay versions available too. So here's the home page, and I'm just going to kind of scrolling through. This is the inspiration, right? This is what everybody else is doing right now. And as we're doing this for the next half hour or whatever it's going to be, these images are going to change here at the top because people are creating it, and it's just going in and it's going to refresh, and you'll see new fresh images constantly forever. That's the way it works, right? So if you just kind of get some inspiration, look around, You can kind of see, just all kinds of styles. Everything you can imagine is in here. And the cool thing is, let's just sort of find one. Maybe like this little Valentine's Day. If I click on that, right, this is the prompt that whoever this person is that generated this created. So you could copy this, you can regenerate it, and that sort of thing. So you can use the prompts that are there to see what happens. They call it remixing, to see what happens with the same exact prompt. One thing I'll tell you that you don't get is you will never get the same image. It doesn't work that way. You can get really close sometimes, but there's always going to be differences, right? So let's go ahead, and since we're talking about Mardi Gras and we got the king of Mardi Gras there with that cool hat he had on, right? So let's go ahead and do something. So let's just to show you, I clicked on the right here where it says describe what you want to see, right? So I'm going to click in here, and right here at the bottom, super easy interface. That's what I dig about this one. So I'm going to hit see all, right? So I can use, these are stylistically things that we'll get, right? So I can get some like a cinematic illustration, 3D typography, design, which means it focuses on the text part, which is what I'm going to do here for now. Graffiti stuff, portrait photography, all those are stylistically what you can expect if you choose one. But for right now, let's go ahead and do something like, let's say, give me I don't know, we're going to do a Mardi Gras theme, right? So I'm just going to say a design, right, with the words Happy Mardi Gras. And I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to say isolate it, right, on a white background, because you're going to have to remove any artwork that you generate from the background. So I'll go ahead and come over here. Now, these are the sizes. I can just go ahead with a square ratio or a portrait one or a landscape one. I'm just going to leave it as a square for now. I'm going to hit generate, and it's going to go ahead and give me 4 iterations, right? So all my prompt says is give me a design with the words Happy Mardi Gras. And then there we go. Now, here's the thing. Happy, I don't know, what's gonna look at a little wonky little M right here, right? Mardi Gras, for the most part, we could use this. I could take this little piece out in Photoshop if I love that design for whatever reason. I can look at a Happy Mardi, got 2 R's, so it gets close, but it doesn't nail it perfectly all the time.
Dane, so
Yeah.
you can actually do words in this. So something like
Yeah.
Dolly 2 does not do words. It just kind of writes jumbly.
Dolly 3 does, though. Dolly 3 does.
You got to pay for Dolly 3, though, I believe.
Yeah. You got to pay for those. So even in Midjourney, right? Midjourney version 6 will do words. I'll show you some of that. We'll use the same prompting and things for this class. But yeah, this ideogram, that's the reason I like it, because it does text really well. I mean, looking at these designs, the one here, the third one, aside from these horribly weird looking jester faces, at least it spelled it right and it put it in there. So if we don't like any of them, just hit it generate again, and it's just going to remix it and give me another batch, right?
Can you then take that text and put it into a text thing and figure out what font they kind of used?
No, if you wanted to do that, I would probably take a picture of it and use what the font app on your phone.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. So it's going to give you what it gives you, and it's not live text, right? It just puts text or words in the design, and most times you're going to have to play around with it to get it fixed. Like over here, the fourth one, probably my favorite one. It says Happy Mardi Gras, and I don't know why, but it colorized the I at the end of the word Mardi in purple instead of the green. You can make an adjustment there. If I wanted to change it up, let's see, design with the words Happy Mardi Gras using carnival beads, right?
I don't know if you know this, but in Mobile, I don't think there's any green, in the birthplace of Mardi Gras.
Well, it's purple, green, and gold where the real Mardi Gras takes place. Just saying.
I'm also going to let you know that David is on here, and he said good morning and thanks for being a part of his family.
Hey, Dave, thanks for having me, man. Always enjoy it.
Thanks, Dane. I'll let you get back to it.
All right, sounds good. So these are pretty cool, right? I mean, I'm digging some of this stuff. So Happy Mardi Gras again. We got a random Y decided to be colorized, something different. And if you notice stuff here at the bottom, guys, all those images are changing as we've been doing this, right? So just new stuff that people are generating. So I'm gonna do one more, and we'll download one and see if we can't fix it or play around with it, see what happens. And everything that we're doing is going up to the cloud and using it. So you got to have a internet connection for this stuff, right? Let's see, Happy Mardi Gras. That one's not so bad. Don't know what happened to Y over here. You know, those are the kind of things that we can fix. I do kind of dig the fact that it's got the H in purple, and this was supposed to be a Y, is not Mardi Gras. So I'm going to go with that, right? We'll try to. Ooh, this one's pretty good. Again, I got some weird gestures. Which one to choose? Which one to choose? I don't know. So let me go with this bead one. So I'm going to click on it here, right? And it'll bring it in. Here's the prompt that we use. I can download it right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll hit download and it puts it in my downloads folder, right? So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and copy this prompt, by the way. Let's going to jump over here to Midjourney. Midjourney. And here's some ones I was playing with this morning kind of thing. I'm going to do this and hit my Imagine, paste my prompt down. I'm just going to go ahead and hit go. Now, so I do have a suffix automatically applied to my version of Midjourney, which means if you look here, the suffix is -- version 5.2, comma, and version 6, which means every single time I generate an image, it generates 2 automatically for me. Kind of like you do that in your settings and stuff. Just wanted to show you why I have to click a button here again. It says, hey, are you sure you want to do both of these? And I'm like, yeah, because I told you to do both, right? So the reason I do it is because version 6 is really great. And it does better jobs with words. Now, it's not going to do such a great job here because I did not put it in quotes, by the way. So we're going to fix that in a minute. But if you notice, let's see which one we're working on. 5.2. It hasn't started on 6 yet. Now, here's the weird thing. 5.2 does not do text very well, but yet it's attempting to put the words in there because I did, it's in my prompt. The words Happy Mardi Gras. But if you look up here, version 6 is getting a little bit better. Way wonky. So it's not great.
Hey, Dane, are you working on a different monitor?
I am not.
Oh, okay. I might just be lost. You're okay. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. What are you looking at right now? Because I want to make sure you guys are seeing it.
The Happy Mardi Gras with the balloon, the beads.
No, I moved. I see. I have my workspace here, which is our meeting, our call here, but I'm not working on that monitor. I didn't even share this monitor. That's bizarre. Hold on one second, because
now we're back on the monitor. We're seeing
it's the same monitor. So when I come right in, I choose Midjourney. You should see it literally lay on top of it. No. All right. So maybe I chose the wrong one. Hang on a second. I'm glad you mentioned something because I'll keep going and we'd be in trouble. So let me stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and try to do this. I'm going to share my screen. I've only done this 1,000 times, right? Here we go.
Yeah. It's the 1,001st time. And what's his name? Thomas Edison did.
True.
He did invent the light bulb 1,000 times or failed at it.
Here we go. I should have just did my whole screen. How about now? We got some Midjourney.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, cool. I'm glad you said something because I've been talking and you guys are thinking this guy's losing his mind. What is his problem? All right, so here we go. Here is 2 versions that we just did. So I'm going to click on this top one. This is 5.2, Midjourney version 5.2. Got some pretty cool beats. Oh, that's kind of nice. Don't worry about the words because 5.2 did not do words, right? But these beads are kind of neat. I think you could probably play around with that, get rid of, you take those things out and add your own. Even this is pretty nice. So I dig the bead part of that image. Now here's version 6, which does words much better. Happy Mardi, I don't know. Happy Mardi something. Who knows? You can see Midjourney is not great. It's not as good nearly as Ideogram. That's why I like that other app for this kind of stuff. But if you notice, what Midjourney does do is it tries to give you an image, right? So when I said carnival beads here, it does a killer job of these beads. I mean, these beads are pretty sweet looking compared to these beads. I mean, these are very basic. They're beads, right? But they're very basic. So it's different, and that's why I like them both, right? I use them both. I got other ones that I'll play with too, but so it's just to show you that when you're generating your artwork, you want to have as many opportunities as you can. So there's another one called Playground.ai. That's another app that I use. But right now, these are my 2 favorite by far. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and play around with this. So I'm just gonna hit this thing to generate again, right? So I'm gonna copy my prompt here. And I'm going to do it one more time. We're going to give Midjourney one more shot at this. And this time I'm going to put some quotes because Midjourney likes quotes. And I forgot to put that last time around the words that you want to use. Let's see if that makes it any better. It's going to say, remember, this is only for me. I have both iterations of 5.2 and 6 in my suffix, in my settings on purpose because I want to generate one of each because I do like what 5.2 gives me sometimes over what 6 gives me. And if you do it, you can try anyone. You can go all the way back to, version 2 or 3. So it just gives you different looks and you might find something that you like. So these are pretty cool. So, all right, this is done in 5.2 because you can see here version 6 has not started. So I'm just going to click on this so we can see what we're looking at here. Remember, 5.2 does not do text well, so ignore the text piece of it. But man, what a cool mask of beads. That's pretty sweet. I dig that one. This is number 1, by the way. And in Midjourney, you can say, hey, I want you to upsample number 1, 2, 3, and 4, which means 1 would be the top left, 2 would be the next one over, 3 would be the one down here, and then 4 down here. So these beads look pretty sweet too, actually. So anyway, really cool looking imagery, right? And then here's the version 6 with the text, which is a little bit better, right? We got Happy Mardi Gras. Since I put them in quotes, it's a little bit more readable because it understands that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to put these things in here. That's words. I did not have that before. So it did a pretty decent job. I like this one. So, I mean, I kind of like quite a bit of these, right? So, do want to show you this. So let's go ahead and pick one. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to pick this number 1. So in Midjourney, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit this up sample 1. That's what that U means. The U1 means up sample. And I can click on variations of 1. So if I want to click on variations, I can just do this and I hit submit only because I have my 2 iterations there. If you're just using like version 6, the default, then it's just going to go ahead and generate it for you. But it's going to go ahead and do me 4 more variations of that 1. So it's going to focus in on that 1 and say, oh, you want this one. So how about these, which are similar? And you can kind of just start, fine tuning with it, your design that you're looking for that way. As you can see, it's starting to build on that same image or similar image. Now, if I wanted to keep that one just like it is, I'm going to hit this U1, which means it's going to upsample. And it upsamples from that little bitty square, right? So it doesn't give me a high res file yet. That's something else we're going to have to do. And I'll show you what I like to use and some like 2 different options for that as well. So this one is the upsample of that exact one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it in a browser here, right? And when I do, it should come up here. Why is it not coming up here? There we go. There it is. I'm going to save that image. And I'm going to put it, well, I can go to my downloads folder because I'll get both of them. The one from Ideogram and this one from that downloads folder. So now here's the variations. Remember that we asked for variations of that same one there. So, and we get this, and these are even better. These are pretty slick, man. I really like them. I kind of like all of them, right? So, I don't know. We can pick one of those. So the reason I isolated it on the white background is because you're going to have to remove it from the white background in order to put it on a transparent background and work with some things. For dye sublimation, if you're going to like put it on a white mug or something like that, you might be able to get away with just leaving it like it is. But I do want to show you this. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this for a second here. Hide Midjourney. We'll hide this app here. Whoops. You got another one going on. All right. So that's upscale. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but let me go find my downloads folder. I'm going to pull those 2 images out really quickly here. All right. So put them on my desktop. Here we go. So when I do this, if you look at the name, right, this is a design with the words Happy Mardi Gras using, PNG. This one is from Ideogram, right? And then this one is the one from Midjourney that we just generated. So we just downloaded them and didn't upsample, didn't do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it into Photoshop here. And this happens to be the one from Midjourney. You can see it's got really nice looking beads on there. So if I go to the image menu in Photoshop and I check my image size, because this is important, right? This is where my high resolution stuff comes from. So you can say, well, whoa, I got 14 inches, about 14 inches. That's a big file. But it's only resolution 72 pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this, and I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to say 300, right? So 300 pixels per inch is a high resolution file. That's what you want to shoot for. That's what you want to work with. But when I do that, it's a little bit less than 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So it's really, really small. So what that means is we have to upsample these files before we do anything in Photoshop. And you want to upsample it outside of Photoshop, because as awesome as Photoshop is, it does a really bad job of upsampling. For some reason, Adobe didn't put that AI aspect into Photoshop yet, but I'm pretty sure that's coming. So, all right, so this is my 14 by 14 at 72 pixels. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and hide Photoshop for now. Now, I'm going to use this thing here called Upscale. This is a free piece of software, by the way. You go to Upscale. This is how it's spelled at, UPSCAYL.com, I think it is. And it will install on your computer, right? So anytime I upscale anything, I'm upscaling using the processor on my computer. So if you go there and try it, it's free. So you might want to give it a shot. You're going to have to make sure your computer has enough muscle to handle it, I guess, right? That sort of thing. So I'm going to upscale this thing. I don't need to do batches, but it says select my image. So I can go ahead and find that image on my desktop, and we'll do this one first. And I'll just hit OK, and it's going to go ahead and open it up for us, right? Now, to select the model type I can use a photorealistic one, general photo, all that sort of thing. It's digital art, so I'm just going to keep it at that. That's all I ever do. I just leave it there as a default thing. Now, if I hit this purple button, this upscale button, it's going to go ahead and upscale my image right now, right? So almost done here. There we go, done. So now this little slider right here, I don't know if you can see it on screen there, but the left side is my before and the right side is my after. So if you just sort of focus in like on one bead, one little area, maybe if it's possible, you can kind of see it's really getting much cleaner, right? And you notice this kind of thing quite a bit on other stuff, right? On different images and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that. It puts it right here on my desktop here. So I'm going to open it in Photoshop. So now if you look, we got 56 inches by something. So let's go to the image size, right? Image size. And it says right now it's 56, almost 0.8. So almost 57 inches square at 72 pixels, which that we're going to change to 300. So now at 300 pixels per inch, my image is 13.5 inches by 13.5. Now, I would recommend you do that all the time. Upsample it to that size. And then even if you're going to put it on a skinny tumbler or a mug or whatever you're going to do, you have a big enough file like you can put on anything. You can put it on a shirt. You can do other stuff with it, right? So you upsample it automatically first. Now, I also use, mostly I use this Topaz AI. It's a pay-for program, about $100 for Gigapixel, I think is the name of it. But this upscaler works really, really nice, and it's free. So give that a shot. And let me go ahead and kind of get the rest of this guy in here. So I know whoops, come on. I changed my resolution right before I got in here. So hopefully you can see the panels are not too small, that sort of thing. So so right now I would take this and I'd have to remove it. I don't have the time. I only got like 5 minutes or so left, 10 minutes. So I don't have time to remove this background, but there's a couple of ways you can do it. If I click on my little lock button, I can go to select menu and I can maybe select the subject and see what it picks for us, right? I can I'm looking at my marching ants and I see it's got some beads. It ignored some of the beads. So I don't think it's going to do a great job. But if I go over here, I could copy and paste or just hit Command or Control J, and it's going to put it on a transparent background, right? So if you pull things off of a white background like we just did, then I'll recommend putting it on a black background to see what you got going on. So if you notice, we only got these little pieces of beads. We're missing what? We're missing all these other beads. Now, you can go ahead and try it again. But it's that version is not the greatest, but it does a pretty decent job. If you notice, there's not a lot of open holes. Now I'm going to show you this here though. This is the kind of stuff that you got to remember and know how to fix. So see this golden piece here? It should be like one shape of this bead or whatever. When I turn this on, it's missing some of that stuff, right? So I mean, you can go right back to your layer here. I'm going to grab my lasso tool, hit my L key, right? Or get my lasso tool here on the side. And I could just kind of literally just grab this big O section here. Watch, something like that. And if you notice, I have it on my layer here. So if I Command J or Control J, it's going to put just that little piece that I grabbed. I can bring it to the very top and turn it on and see if that helps us, right? I didn't capture the pieces because I wasn't paying attention to where I was working with. So go back to my lasso tool and make sure that I come all the way out here. I'll get that part, and I'm going to grab the rest of this stuff over here and come, just do like this, because it's just it gives you holes. It's not perfect. You're going to have to learn how to work some of these things. And I'm going to do it this way again. Command or Control J will put it on its own layer. And then now if I turn this stuff on, you can see I got those holes fit in, right? So if I come over here to my little fly out menu, I can merge down right here, which is a Command E on my Mac or Control E on your PC. I can merge it down. I'm gonna hit merge down again, and then now that little piece is fixed. And you still got to go clean up some stuff, but basically that's how you upsample. That's how you bring it in. I do want to show you one thing about Photoshop. So AI artwork, right? We're going to generate. It's going to generate it in your AI app, whatever one you want to work with. You saw my two favorites. Bring it in here, pull it on a background so I can have a transparent background and utilize it for things. I can add text to it and that sort of thing. Now, I want to show you something that Photoshop does. Let me open up an image that I did. Let's see, seminars here. Condi, look at that. All right, so let's do this colorful lion. So this is an image that I generated way back when, right? I don't know. Let's take a look. See image size. See, it's 80 inches. That's 72. So I'm going to go to 300. I got 19 by 10. This is a pretty cool image. I dig all the colors, but if you notice, it's horizontal and it's cropped off. If I want to put this as a logo or as a t-shirt design, or just add some text at the bottom and make it an actual logo of the whole head, I need to do something with the top and bottom, or I can't use what I got here. So watch. This is where I had mentioned earlier that Photoshop just leaped so far ahead of everybody else in the world as far as their graphic stuff goes. Watch what we're going to do. I'm going to go to image menu and I'm going to come down to canvas size, right? And I'm going to change the canvas size. So right now I'm just going to leave it set to the middle here, this dot. If you wanted to set stuff just to the bottom, I can move it to the top here and it's going to add to the bottom. And you see the little arrows, or I can go from the bottom and just add space to the top or the sides or whatever. But I want to go top and bottom. So I'm going to go in the middle and I'm just going to change my height. Let's go like 25. I'll leave it as set to black since I got a black background there. So that's what we just did, right? So we added canvas area. We added space that we could play around with. So now watch in Photoshop. If I go to this, just grab my rectangle tool, right? And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, you know what? Let's see about changing something to do with that. And this is what I mean. So you're going to get this generative fill box. And I had to overlap it a bit, right? You see how we got to overlap it? We're showing it. Where we overlap the actual image a little bit and we added some space to it. So I'm just going to not add anything prompt wise. I'm going to hit generative fill and I'm just going to hit generate. And we're just going to see what Photoshop does. So Photoshop says, okay, well, you overlap this section of this image. So now I'm going to look at this whole image and I'm going to see what it is you're trying to do. And it's going to try to do some cool stuff, I think. It usually does. Look at that. What? You're kidding me. Right? So that's one iteration. It gives us 3 versions. So that's one, which I dig. It's right. Look, I'm an illustrator. This stuff drives me crazy because it's awesome. And I know how long it would have taken me to paint that. And it drives me crazy. I hate it, but I love it. So I don't know what to tell you. It drives me nuts. And that's not as good, I don't think. That one's pretty good. So out of these two, I'm digging this one. So if you notice my 2 layers here, I got that section. If I do the same thing and just go ahead and commit it, I'm going to say, hey, merge down, right? So now I'm committed. That is the top of my guy here, right?
Hey, Dane.
So now I'm going to do it. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? This is my own personal question here. What is the difference between merge layers and flatten image?
Well, when I only got 2 layers, nothing. It's the same, right? But
okay.
The reason I use the merge, and I use a Command E or Control E when I'm working, because I'll have multiple layers going on typically. And if I just merge down, watch, let's do it right now. Watch, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, let's do the bottom here, right? So we're going to give it the same thing. I'll hit generative fill and I'm going to hit generate. And if you look at my layers, right, it adds another layer, but it's going to give me 3 variations of what it's doing, right? It's thinking about it. So right now I'm only going to have 2 layers, but a lot of times I'll have 10 layers. And what merge down does is it works from this one layer that I have selected and just merges it down with the next one, right? Okay. So when I only have 2, then yeah, I'm flattening it for sure. But most times I don't have just 2 layers. So look at it did. It finished out the bottom pretty sweet. That one looks pretty good.
Thank you, Dane.
Yeah, sure thing. That one's not so good, maybe, but all right. Again, the first one, I dig the first one, I think. I don't know what you guys think, right? Whatever. I like it. I like the chin kind of added. So again, here's where the 2 layers are, right? So there's only 2 at this iteration at this moment. So I can go ahead and flatten it. It will give me the same exact result as my merge down. But I get into the habit of merging down because one, I select the artwork layer that I'm working on or whatever. And I just want it to go to the one underneath it. I don't want to smash them all down. If I got 10 layers, I don't want to hit flatten for sure, right? So that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit Command E, Control E on my keyboard, and then boom, now I got something. So if I wanted to crop it down, I can crop it down, and we can, I'd have to remove this from the background as well. And, we could always come back and do another one of these classes and walk through just that because it's kind of like not a hard process, but it's a few steps and iterations that you got to do it right. And of course, I want to do it right because that's how I roll. But so yeah, I know that's been about a half hour or so. If we got any questions, I can answer some more. I just kind of want to give you a little bit of everything. It's kind of a lot. I know it's like a dump, but I think you can see that really quickly you can get some super cool stuff going on here. So you want to open up to questions or what are you thinking? Uh-oh. Am I gone?
Oh, no. I'm just, okay. I'm gone. I'm gone.
All right.
That was my Milli Vanilli impression. For all you 80s fans out there. So yeah, we got a lot of people in here. They're saying that it's great. It's cool. It's going to save a lot of time. The lion's fun. Would that fix the problem with would that fix the Mardi Gras problem?
Mardi Gras problem, meaning this piece here?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. So watch. If it doesn't know, I don't think. Let's see. I say not really. Who knows, man? Just give it a shot. I'm gonna come way over here. I'm gonna grab all these sort of things, and we'll do like that. And I could also prompt it. So let's do add beads. I don't know. See what happens. Hit generate. So it may or may not. We'll find out. It's probably going to give us something. It won't give us the exact same position or anything that the other art did, but I would normally, yeah, that was not so great.
Do you ever Google prompts and stuff like that for?
I'm sorry, say that one again.
Do you ever Google prompts, coming in there and being like, I want this to look like 3D. And then you're like, I don't know what Rembrandt is, what style that is, and have to kind of Google things or figure things out or.
Actually, personally, I don't because and this is where I struggle with AI. I love it because of how fast it is, but I have something in my head typically. If you say, hey, Dane, do a Mardi Gras bead design, right? I in 2 seconds, I'm going to start, my wheels are turning and I have a direction. And I personally struggle with the fact that it gives me something. And I'm like, that's not it. Hit it again. It's almost like pulling a slot machine, right? You're like, oh, what is it going to give me? What is it going to give me? And it's like, you're waiting. And it's a letdown mostly. But a lot of times it's great, but a lot of times it's not what I'm thinking. And I struggle with the fact that, okay, is it necessary to stick with what I'm thinking because no one else is thinking? It's just in my stupid head, right? Nobody knows what I'm thinking. So but it's just, again, a personal thing. I struggle because I know what I want and it's not giving it to me. So I fight with it. But as far as Googling prompts, I don't, because I just sort of, if I want 3D something or whatever, I just punch it in and go, I just do it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about it. It's going to give you kind of that, I can't think of that word right now, that you start second guessing yourself. Is this what it should be like? Am I right on this?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting to type some words in, see what comes up. Sometimes if I'm listening to a song, because I think that graphic design, in my opinion, and art is all an excuse to listen to music.
All right, I'm with you.
Everything is cooking, everything. Sometimes I type in song lyrics, I'm listening to something and I'm like, wow, that painted a picture in my head. Let's see what it paints for me. And I sometimes think that's interesting.
Right.
Do you ever do stuff like that?
Oh yeah, all the time, man. Just see, throwing it at kind of like throwing it at the wall, see what sticks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just while we're talking here, gonna do another typography one to show the strengths of this. What I think this is the best part of this ideogram thing. We did the one prompt that one St. Patrick's Day. So I mean, literally, if you're just gonna come up with a design for whatever, just punch it in and give it a go. See what happens. If you don't like it, hit generate again. But these are pretty sweet. I mean, I would probably fix this piece of the K right there. I guess I should say same thing here. But other than that, they look pretty good. Happy St. Patrick. I mean, it's very simple, but
so
bad.
in your expanse legal, because I know that during your graphic design and artistic design, you also went to law school and all of that.
Yes, I was a doctor too, brain surgeon. What you doing this weekend? Want me to work on you?
What is your take on the legality of just taking any one of these designs and printing it or selling it?
So here's the deal. If you pay for it, now you can go like I said, there's thousands of these apps. If you go check their what the hell you call it, the legal issues, right? They'll tell you can, they're not restricted. A lot of these will be non-restricted. A lot of them, if you pay for it, go figure, then you can use it commercially, things like that, right? So you just got to check out the ones that you're working on. And honestly, I pay for this one too, so I don't really remember the details. I do know that when you pay for any of them, you can use it commercially. Now, that doesn't mean that, lawsuits aren't happening, because they are. Artists are suing because they're stealing their intellectual properties, because these things were trained on images, the artist's images, and they didn't give permission for that and all that sort of thing. Especially when you say, hey, give me a St. Patrick's Day, blah, 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 designed in the style of pick your artist, right?
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, right. So, or even like if you go to Dolly 3, it needs to be a dead artist. Go figure, right? That's when all your artwork becomes valuable, when you're dead.
Yeah. So, I didn't know that about Dolly 3.
Yeah, it will not do live or living artists. Like if I want to do Norman Rockwell, it'll give me something in a Norman Rockwell style. If I want to do, I don't know, somebody that's alive today, it won't.
Banksy.
Was that?
Banksy's my alive today artist.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it won't generate things like that. But this is what I'm worried about. Because think of it this way: before this AI stuff, where anybody can type in a sentence and get cool artwork, right? Which was my whole entire life and career before, as of about a year ago. If you went to Etsy, let's just use that as an example, and you typed in Disney, there's a million things on about Disney, whatever is all intellectual property stuff that they're not supposed to be selling. You can do the same thing for NFL, whatever. You want a logo for whatever, it's there. People are selling it. They ain't supposed to be. Yeah. Now that was before. Can you imagine what it's going to be like right now, where all I got to do is punch in a sentence and I get killer artwork, and I can start I think this intellectual property and people that they're going to start doing stuff. I just think it's going to open the floodgates on stuff that people are not supposed to be doing. So just because this thing says, hey, you can use your images that you create here, commercially, that's great. But they still have to be your images, in the sense that I could create a cool Batman, whatever, but I ain't supposed to. And I'm not supposed to use that. People say, oh, it's just fan art. It is fan art till you want to sell it on Etsy or whatever you're going to do, right? So I think the floodgates are going to be open to a lot of problems as far as those things go. But if you know that, if you got a brain, you say, all right, I know I'm not supposed to do Superman and Batman, and I know I can't do NFL properties, and I can't do Disney. You know where your rails are, right? I can do these things because I just came up with it or whatever. It's not, somebody doesn't own that license, then I think it's an awesome tool. But I do see that as becoming just a nightmare one these days soon, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. And your artwork, the St. Patrick's Day stuff, is really small on my thing. The thing I'm noticing is that one there. How many leaf? I've never seen a 5-leaf clover.
Hey, you know
You know,
what? I think I've seen them.
may
I've seen them,
I don't
but
think I've ever seen a 3-leaf clover either. So,
oh, I've seen threes. Yeah. But anyway, you want to make it four, you'd have to fix that piece, right? So at least you noticed it. So again,
Mhm.
download it and mess with it there. So
The other one had two stems on the like coming out of the clover. One of them, I believe.
well, yeah, and you're gonna have like weird, if you did a dog, sometimes they have two tails. Like, what are you talking about? Five legs, things like that. I mean, it's a thing. It's not perfect yet. Here you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And that's
And I
easy enough
know
to
that
fix.
AI is struggling with people's hands and stuff, and I
Yeah.
like looking at the like the post online of things. Of you know,
Yeah, there. I mean, but you know what? Is even with those struggles, it's not perfect, but even with those struggles, I mean, just look at the stuff.
that
All this
lady
is
with the
new.
glasses is awesome. That hell looking cat below her with the three
All this
eyes.
stuff. I mean, yeah, it's all this was generated randomly, right, by all kinds of people while we did this class today. I mean, it's all new stuff. So it's amazing. I mean, it is again, I have a love hate. I hate it more than I love it, but I do love it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can't beat them,
Uh,
join them maybe.
well, kind of. And I will tell you this, I do know this much, and I do believe this 100%. So any artist out there like me, and this kind of hurts your heart, I get it 100%. But it's a tool. And if you treat it like a tool and you learn it and you utilize it, I don't care where you're at in the business that you work for, whether you own it or whether you're just an art guy in a giant corporation, you just force multiplied yourself, right? Because not everybody's going to accept it. Not everybody's going to want to use it. And if you utilize it like I do to get a gist of whatever it is, and then I'm going to fix it or add, make it my own in Photoshop after, then you just saved yourself a boatload of time on the front end because I kind of get some ideas really quickly, and I can fix it in an hour versus say 8 or 9 hours to paint the thing. So if you utilize it, you're going to be more valuable to your business or your job or whatever it might be. And if you go with it with that assumption and that mindset, I think it's gonna rock. You're gonna be great.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think it's fun. It passes the time as well. Just looking at what it can do. Now
It's all.
with these, how many generations do you get?
Well, you get 4, but you can keep going.
No, I mean
So,
like over like a month. How many can you?
well, everybody's different. There's not a I can't give you a number. Every single there's thousands of apps. Again, I got like 7 or 8. They're all different. But
Mhm.
usually, especially if you pay for it, man, I've never run out, and I use it a lot. I mean, that's kind of my job, right? So, there's tons and tons and tons. I mean, Mid Journey don't give you one. You got to pay for it first. The first one out the jump. So but it's in my opinion, it's the best for all kinds of things. So
Yeah, and the Adobe Generative fill is just
they're so far advanced over everybody else. They just leapfrog by light years. It's amazing. So if you're an Affinity Photo guy, and I still teach on it or whatever a little bit these days, but Photoshop's it's worth it just for that piece alone is worth it.
just
Definitely.
just a recap on the software you use, and then I know you're busy. I'll
Yep.
let you get back to it. Oh, that cat there is awesome too, and that dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's all awesome. You can scroll through and get dizzy. They got so much cool stuff in here.
Sorry, that was the squirrel. Yeah,
Right.
what what programs have you been using? And
So my 2 favorite are this one, Ideogram. That's one, and the other one's Mid Journey. And Mid Journey, this is through Discord, because even I don't have 10,000 images yet. So in Mid Journey alone, I've probably got it obviously through all of them. But those are my 2 top. There's Playground AI. There's a bunch of other ones. Dolly 3. So I like all of them, but these are my 2 favorites.
what was the upscaler? Was it up?
It's called Upscale, right? It looks like this is how you spell it right here. It's you go there to the website, right? And you download it. It installs on your computer and it upscales and does all the number crunching, like the blowing up stuff on your computer, not through the cloud. Now, there's other versions that you go to a website and just upload it and do it that way. And those work. I've used some, but for right now, from what I find, this is my, well, next to my, I use Topaz, like I said, Gigapixel one, but that's my favorite. This would be a really close second because it's really good.
Yeah. For pictures, I just use the Lightroom and I use the enhance or the denoise, and that does a really good job.
Yeah, but when you want to get, if you're trying to get it much bigger, I don't know that it beats these. You know what I mean? These
no,
are
not
the
at all.
algorithms for this are designed specifically
For
that.
graphics too. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dane. Thank you. Thanks
for having me.
Yeah. Anytime you want to come back, you just let us know and all of that. We are always happy to have you. Everyone, this was Dane here, the man, Great Dane Graphics over there in the real birthplace of
Mardi Gras. There you go.
I was going to say jazz. You said it. You said it. I set you up there.
That's all right.
Yes, and yeah, anytime you want to have me over there for some gumbo and all those,
all right, we can do that.
Cooking, let me know. But thank you so much, Dane.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure, and yes, I will see all you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.